as a corollary, there are, in addition to a proper nutrition practice, there are a few things that are deficient in an average American diet. And I think a well-rounded nutrition practice involves taking in those deficiencies. Omega-3 fish oils, usually vitamin D3, are staples. I think most people will have deficiency of vitamin D3, so I'd say maximize on vitamin D3. Most American diets and great studies are there that say that taking in the proper amount of omega-3 oil is important. That's the healthy oil, which is usually lacking. Fiber is so important. So the unmentionables, which usually are not spoken of, are cinnamon, chromium picolinate, magnesium, zinc. Now there's limited evidence that say that they will be helpful, but I don't think they're going to hurt. I wouldn't go investing a lot of money into those things. I'll list them down as I'll list down a couple of my favorites. But I would always say the bulk of what you should concentrate on would be what I mentioned as far as the fish oil and the vitamin D3, and then high fiber, and then a proper nutrition practice. And again, even if a registered dietitian is not covered, I highly suggest seeing a registered dietitian to kind of hammer through, chisel out some form of nutrition practice that will stick. And sometimes it might be a shocking nutrition practice or an awe nutrition practice that's really tight for the first 3 months. Maybe will help you lose weight. And then after that, it has to change a little bit because your tolerances, your exercise routines will probably change. Your activities will probably change, and your tastes will probably change. And at that point in time, I wouldn't say let loose again. I would say add something different. Experiment with a different ethnicity. If you get to reward yourself, and it's not with having a steak dinner on Sunday, it's with experimenting outside of the first initial plan. And then maybe even after 6 months you'll re-establish a different plan. But you have to have somebody that's professional, somebody that's been trained to kind of guide you as far as let's try this, let's try this. Chris Gardner out of California did do an analysis of people who followed different diets. And for those, because that's where I'm getting to, those of you who can't afford going to see a registered dietitian, or I should say don't want to pay for a registered dietitian because there is an affordability. It's either you pay for somebody to sustain and to help you develop a diet, or you pay for a whole bunch of procedures and a whole bunch of copay medicines. So you can weigh the decisions there. Chris Gardner did a study on people. He followed them on 4 basic diets, very popular diets, and after 12 months, most of the people kind of dropped off. Most of the people during the 12 months didn't even read the entire book that was put out by the person that made the diet. So it's hard for average people to read through books. Usually after the age of after high school age, very little Americans read a book cover to cover, which is a shame. I think because of the attention deficit thing and being very comfortable with reading short bursts of activity on TV or on the internet, that's what we get used to. And when we're actually relaxing and getting to a good book where you're reading paper, I think is more important. But bottom line, you can read what you can if you read cover to cover. I'd like it to empower you to read the proper books. And again, diabetes.org has a lot of good books that are cheap, that have been approved by endocrinologists. But you also have to know which books to read and what you're up against. Investing in a registered dietitian, investing in a diabetic educator is so important, even if it's not covered by your insurance company. So really think about it. If they can get you to the point after a year or 2 years where you're now disease-free, your investment will pay off 110%. So it's either that or disability's coming because of the heart attack or stroke. And at that point in time, you're not going to be able to make money or pay the bills. So hopefully that never happens, but that's what, unfortunately, some of my patients look forward to. And I'll be there along the way, either way you choose. I just hope you can make the proper choices.